Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 27, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 100. As always, before beginning answering your questions, I'm gonna say I'm not an immigration attorney. All the information that is provided on this channel is directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question from Don Paul. USCIS mailed me a letter asking for evidence, and the letter said to include the evidence with the original letter they sent me, and to return in the enclosed envelope, but there was not an enclosed envelope. Wait a second, said to include the evidence with the original letter they sent me, and to return in the enclosed envelope, but there was not an enclosed envelope. How am I to return the evidence without the missing envelope? Don, very sorry this happened to you. Seems like somebody at the USCIS mailing department messed up just a little bit. So what I would recommend to do, because it really depends on what kind of case you got going on. I'm thinking you have an I-130, because usually that's where a lot of times you submit an application. At least you have an option to submit the I-130 application and then wait for the request of the initial evidence. It seems like that was the case. So a few things that you can do. If you're okay with spending some time on the phone trying to reach an USCIS representative in order to ask them the question directly, that might be a good option. That might be a good option to do, because just to be on the safe side, and whenever it comes to any kind of recommendations that I make on this channel, it's always just try to do it as safe as possible. Of course, you can always, if you do have the mailing address on the letter itself, where you need to send that initial evidence, you can really put it in any envelope and just make sure you include this letter at the very top of all the initial evidence, so once they take it out of the envelope, they can identify immediately which application this evidence belongs to. So you can definitely do that, but I would recommend reaching out to USCIS just to be on the safe side. Call them up, ask them about a question. Now, before, and I'm saying probably, the last time I called USCIS probably was like 3 years ago. It was really hard to reach them. I heard that it is harder to reach them now. But before, it used to be, you basically go into the, you follow the phone directory that takes you to the application itself, right? So you mentioned that it is I-130 application that you're interested in. It will give you a whole bunch of prompts. It will read you like this boilerplate text. And at the very end of it, once it tells you everything about it, it will ask you if you need any additional information. And if you say yes or press 1, I think it is, it will connect you with the representatives. So that's one of the ways, at least I knew, to reach the live person. So I would definitely recommend to do that. But again, if you do have the address on the original letter, on the letter itself, you can really use any envelope and it technically should be fine. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question from Jeremy Muhammad. How to know if they already sent my dog? I've been waiting for 11 years for my mom petition. Until now, I didn't have any idea if they sent me already my documents or what. Please respond. Thanks. Where can I ask about my documents? Thank you in advance. God bless. Jeremy, thank you very much for your question. I'm sorry you're waiting for so long. Unfortunately, some of the categories, even if they're children, they do wait quite a long time. So if you can, please come back to this channel and let me know in a separate comment. Don't respond to my comment within your comment. Please submit a separate comment, because for everyone if you have additional questions, please don't respond to my comment, because YouTube don't send me those notifications. I don't know why. So please submit it in a separate comment. Let me know your category. You said your son of your mom is, I don't know, she can be either U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. Depending on which category, which status she has, the category will be different. Also, if you're under 21 or over 21, judging by how long you've been already waiting, I'm thinking you are over 21 and possibly married, because that's the category that takes the longest in the family. Well, not the longest out of all of them, because out of all of them is siblings, but out of children, it takes the longest. So please let me know which category, and also if you can let me know the priority date. it would be really helpful. Then I would be able to go to the visa bulletin and then compare some dates and see approximately how long they take. But roughly for F1, unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens, right now there's 9 years, roughly 9 years. Very, very rough estimate. 9 years people waiting for their availability of the immigrant visa from the priority dates. That's the filing dates with USCIS. For the second F2A, spouses and children of permanent residents, spouses and children under 21, I don't think that's the case for you because this one is processed pretty quickly. So I'm thinking you are, again, unmarried sons and daughters 21 of age or older, F2B category, and that is roughly, well, a little bit less, around 8 years. All right, I don't think that it's your category because again you've been waiting for 11 years. So I am thinking you are F3 category, married sons and daughters of US citizens, and that one takes quite a long time. As you can see right now, the priority date that is getting their immigrant visas right now, as of right now, is December 2008, which is, my math is horrible and I don't have the calculator around me for whatever reason. 2008, 2023. So we have 12, 15. Wow, 15 years. 15 years. So I'm thinking you might be in the F3 because you've been waiting for 11 years. Also, let me know your chargeability area. So which country you're applying from, because there are 4 separate chargeability areas that have their separate, basically, waiting periods, their separate backlogs, and then there's all chargeability for everybody else. So please let me know that information in a separate comment, and I might be able to give you a little bit more estimate. All right, let's move on to the next one from Michael Sarfo. Hi, my name is Michael Sarfo from Ghana. My dad is a US citizen and has filed for us, myself and my senior brother. Due to COVID-19, we delayed in providing evidence for Form I-130. Later last year, around July 1st or July, I was called by the USA Embassy in Ghana to embark on DNA, which I did, and the results were sent to USCIS. Since then, my brother has received a notice of case open, December 2022. Great. And so he already had it open for, well, roughly 5-6 months. And have now completed MVC application. Wow, that was fast. That's great. I haven't received any notice from USCIS or the embassy. Wow. More than 6 months. I have emailed them, but nothing has been done. Hope you can assist me with this issue. Thank you very much. Wow, Michael, I'm very sorry you're dealing with this. That sounds pretty messed up. I'm sorry about that. So, a few things that you can do. I don't know who you emailed to. If you emailed to USCIS and you never contacted US Embassy, I would just recommend calling US Embassy and telling them the situation, explaining the situation, and hoping that you get somebody understanding on the phone who can actually help you, resolve this issue and give you any updates. Email to the embassy as well. Email to the NVC, submit the public inquiry form with NVC. Doesn't sound like it's with NVC yet because you didn't receive any notification from NVC, but give it a shot just in case to be on the safe side. And give it a few weeks. If you don't get any response once again, then the best thing to do is would be taking more serious action, asking your dad, who is a US citizen, who is in the United States of America, to submit an inquiry, or not really an inquiry, but more so of a request with the local elected officials. That can be state senators, state representatives, whoever it is. It doesn't really matter, whoever the local elected officials are. Some of them, they do like to help immigrants. Some of them, not so much. So don't be upset if some of them don't even respond to your dad's inquiry. But there are politicians that specifically on their website have like public relationships tab where you can go and request, support on different issues with government agencies. And one of them being immigration, obviously USCIS and NVC, Department of State in general. So that would be the next step if they don't respond once again. Try calling the US Embassy. I would recommend calling USCIS as well. Ask your dad to call USCIS because something is weird. It's been 6 months. I understand if there was like a difference between, if it's been like a month, you could say, okay, fine, maybe they process my brother faster than me, but you know, it is really strange. It's like 6 months already and you're still waiting. And please let me know once you have the resolution. Please let me know. And it really goes for everyone who's watching these videos. If there is a resolution for your situation, please come back and let everyone know, because people are watching. People that don't ask questions are watching, because you know, seeing people resolve their problems is very reassuring, because you deal with problems. That's normal. It's bureaucracy. That's the, you know, system that we have. It's part of the deal, dealing with these problems. So when you see other people having issues and then successfully resolving them, it is really helpful. It is really reassuring. So if you can come back, that would be really nice. All right, let's move on to the next question. Looks like there's 2 comments from Zoe Rios. So the first question is, I'm going to start from the bottom here. Hi, can you show us how to scan documents correctly? Okay, so that was about the NVC portal. And Zoe, I know exactly why you're asking me this question. Is because whenever it comes to NVC portal, becoming documentarily qualified, uploading documents is absolute pain. I know exactly how it feels, because I've been there. I've been dealing with two of those petitions. And I will be dealing with a 3rd one and soon 4th one. Okay, so yes, it's absolute pain. Unfortunately, I can't really show you just one universal way of scanning, because it really depends on a lot of things. It depends on what kind of scanner you have. If you have, like I have, the multifunction printer, whatever it's called, MFP, I guess that's what it's called. Basically, what it does is only scans to the BMP format. I couldn't figure out how to scan it to anything else. And then I have to convert it to PDF, because PDF, I'm not sure right now, as of this moment, I don't know if they accept JPEG format, but PDF, that's definitely the format that they want. That's definitely the format that they like. More so if you have a document that contains 5 or 6 pages in one document. Let's say it's tax returns, right? Tax returns has a whole bunch of pages. They want all these pages in one PDF document, so that your tax return 2022, for example, you're uploading, is just one file, and when they open it, there's 5, 6, 10 pages, whatever. The huge problem with that is that once you combine so many pages into one document, it becomes pretty heavy. And NVC, their portal, they have limitation on the file size, and it's very small. I think it's like 5 megs or maybe even less. I don't remember right now. But the best thing to do is, once you figure out the way to scan, right? If you're scanning, you know, on your printer, obviously all these different pages, you have 10 pages. There are online converters where just type in the Google online PDF creator, and it will give you, or online PDF converter. Try both, whichever one you'll find. They're free. All you do basically is just upload, you know, 5, 10 pages, however many you have, into the field, and then you can convert it into 5, 10, or just one PDF document where all these pages are in one document. And then you can play around with the quality of these pages, because with large, you know, the documents that have large number of pages, you will have to drop the quality so that you can actually upload it to the NVC portal. Okay, so let's move on to your second question. Also, the affidavit I-864 is not working properly, as some of the answer spaces will not let me type in the answer. They're blocked and no way to enter the answer. So what's the best way to fill it out? Yes, so whenever it comes to, I honestly don't know why they did it. It's really strange. But yes, most of the, at least, I think every application that I've dealt with from USCIS, there are those grayed out fields that you do need to fill out, but you can't fill them out on a computer. So what you do is you fill as much as possible on the computer, and then you print it out, and then what is left, obviously you'll have to print it out regardless, because you need to sign it and date it. But all those, once you print it out to sign it and date it, all those grayed out fields, if they're applicable to you, you can go and by hand you can fill them out. That's the best way to do it. So Zoe, I hope I was able to give you reasonable answers. I hope my answers were helpful. But if you do have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to come back and ask them. That goes for everyone. As many questions as you have, everyone, you're always welcome to ask. I'll never say, oh, this guy asking too many questions. I'll never say that. For Salah Abbas says, thanks, you're very welcome, Salah. I'm glad you found my video useful. Moving further, we got Simone Cole. Good day, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Simone. I appreciate your kind words. My case is F11, which is F1. Basically, it's F11, the subcategory of F1. There is also F12, which is derivative beneficiary, but just saying for if somebody's interested. Priority date February 11, 2014. Documentarily qualified August 31, 2022 from Jamaica, so all chargeability area. How long do I have to wait for my interview? Awesome. Let's take a look, Simone. So you have been documentarily qualified already in 2022. That is great. So we're going to be looking at the graph A because the final action was already taken. Final action being the documentarily qualification. Priority date February 2014. So let's take a look. Okay. So F1 looks like right now December 2014. December 2014, people with the priority date in December 2014 who are documentarily qualified already are just now, their immigrant visas are just now becoming available. You are in February 2014. February 2014, which is before December 2014. Wow. So you are, let's see, February, like 10 months before December 2014. It's taking a little bit too long. It's taking, whoa, wait a second. February, oh, wait, I'm counting it the wrong way. So you're in February and they're giving, no, I'm counting it the right way. I am counting it the right way. Because they're giving it out to already December 2014. And you are in February 2014. So 10 months you are overdue. Okay, so in this case, Simone, it sounds like your immigrant visa should already be available. You're already documentarily qualified. There's two possibilities why you are waiting for so long, right? I wouldn't say long to the point of where you really need to worry, because all of these cases, this is just a general number. In a lot of situations, like in my personal case, we actually had a problem along the way with NVC. Some of the documents that we submitted, they were not good enough, and it delayed everything, delayed the processing by about 6 months. So things happen. Sometimes our personal, our cases compared to, everybody else's, because this is what this is showing. This is basically the average of everybody who's waiting right now and whose priority date is becoming current with their immigrant visas. So if you had some kind of delay along the way, that might be the case. Also, I don't know how it is in Jamaica, but US Embassy might be busier in Jamaica than in a lot of other places. So maybe your immigrant visa is already available. You're just waiting for the embassy to schedule the interview. Regardless, I have a couple of recommendations. Number one is definitely submit the public inquiry with NDC, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You will find this link for Visa Bulletin for June 2023 in the description of this video. So click on it. You will see this page. So from this page, at the very top, this little navigation menu, you will see Contact Us. So we're going to click on that. And of course, it's going to take a while to load. Okay. Then we're going to click on US Visas Contacts right here. Click on that. And then we'll scroll down a little bit. You will see this table come up. And at the very top of it, you will see Public Inquiry Form. Click on that. And then you'll scroll down just a little bit and you will see Online Immigrant Visa Inquiries Only, Public Inquiry Form. Click on that last time and you will have the Public Inquiry Form where you will fill out the NDC case number, beneficiary's full name, principal applicant, that's beneficiary, date of birth, beneficiary's date of birth, petitioner's full name, that's the petitioner, who are you, whether you're beneficiary or petitioner, email address, and then in your inquiry, just identify yourself once again, say your name, your case number, all of that sort of stuff. Say that according to the June 2023 most current visa bulletin, your immigrant visa should already be available 10 months back, basically. And you still did not have your interview scheduled. Say that you just want to follow up and get an update on why your interview is taking a little bit longer than what is being shown on the visa bulletin. They're usually pretty quick to respond to these inquiries. A lot of times it's boilerplate. Don't be upset if it is, but definitely submit it and see what they say. And then the second thing that you can do is you can go to Jamaica's, the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, find their contact information. You can find it on usembassy.gov. And let's scroll down to Jamaica. Let's see, Jamaica. There we go. Jamaica. Okay, so this U.S. Embassy in Kingston. Here we go. Here's their phone number. Let's actually click on this first because we might get a different phone number. Sometimes they put a wrong phone number. Oh, no, it's the same phone number. Here it is. So here's their phone number. Give them a call and explain the situation. Tell them that you're documentarily qualified, that your visa, your immigrant visa should be, your priority date is 10 months over current, basically, and your immigrant visa should already be available. And ask them if they can give you any information that can help you kind of, understand when your immigrant visa interview is going to be scheduled. Again, it's at their discretion. They might not, they might say we can't give you that information. Don't be upset if they say that. You can also try sending them an email. That's another good option to see what's going on. But definitely reach out to both NVC and U.S. Embassy. And if you can come back and let us know the resolution, that would be really nice. I would really appreciate it, and I know everybody who's watching these videos for answers, they'll definitely appreciate it as well. Alrighty, let's move on to the next comment from Masood Khan. Thanks for all your hard work, Masood. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching these videos. Let's move on to the next one from Dorette Shaw. I filed for my sibling. Priority date July 26, 2012. Documentarily qualified September 1st, 2020. When again will I hear from NVC? Awaiting your answer. Dora, thank you very much for your question. So you were already documentarily qualified. Let's take a look at we're dealing with the F4, forced priority, forced preference category. It is the preference category that takes the longest. The siblings of U.S. citizens. You wouldn't think that somebody who's related to a U.S. citizen would be waiting for so long, but yes, we are for sure. Let's go back to the visa bulletin, and we're gonna take a look. Again, we're looking at the final action graph because Dora was already documentarily qualified, so the final action was already taken. So original priority date is July 2012. Let's take a look. Looks like right now, for all chargeability area, wow, it's April 2007. It's April 2007. So April 2007, July 2012, roughly 5 years. Roughly 5 more years, Dorrit. You have left to wait for the priority date to become current, so that that backlog is reached. Again, it's a very rough estimate. Things might speed up, things might slow down. Unfortunately, that is the case with really most of the categories on the visa bulletin. That's how it is. The only people that are not dealing with any of this are people who are in immediate relative category. But whenever it comes to categories that are on the visa bulletin, we have to wait. We have to do some waiting, and F4 is the longest of the wait. So roughly 5 more years. Hopefully things speed up. Really hope so. It's really sad, honestly. Because Dora had already been waiting since 2012. Since 2012, that's 11 years. 11 years. U.S. citizen waiting for their brother or sister. 11 years. And they still have 5 more years to wait. Honestly, I really have no hope for anything getting better with the immigration system, but it's pretty bad already. Dora, sorry, I wish I could give you better, more, pleasant answer, I guess. But I can definitely relate because I also have an F4 petition. I'm also waiting, and we only been waiting for like 2.5, 3 years now. So I have another 13 years to wait. All right, let's move on to the next one from Adehumo, I think, Hadijat, or Adejumo Hadijat. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. My brother filed for me on September 2011, still not, and saw that USCIS California Service Center is on June 2016. So Adejumo, again, like I was answering to Dorit, this is the category, brother filing, U.S. citizen filing for their sibling, F4 category. It takes 16 years, roughly, for the immigrant visa to become available, for, go through all that backlog that was accumulated throughout all this time. It's horrible. It's over 16 years of backlog. It's just unthinkable. And it's for all chargeability. If you look, for example, for Mexico, there is 23-year backlog. 23-year backlog for a U.S. citizen who is naturalized U.S. citizen, obviously, because, how would they have a brother or sister in Mexico if they weren't themselves a naturalized U.S. citizen? So they went through all of this lengthy process. They paid the fees, they did the application, they did all the background checks, the interviews, the med examination, paid all the fees, first they became a green card holder, then 5 years later they became a U.S. citizen, and now finally they're like, I'm going to see my brother. And then they're waiting 23 years from Mexico. So you think that would encourage legal immigration? Things like this? I don't know how people in Congress don't see it. I don't know where they're looking at. I really hope, that by making these videos, a lot more people will start understanding the problem with the immigration and how much fake information we get from the media, because what we see on the media, it does not show the real problems. The real problems that are within the field of immigration. And these are the real problems. Why would anybody wait for 20 years when you can just walk over the border? Think about this. This is what is encouraging the illegal crossing of the border. This exactly stuff like this. Because if somebody who's naturalized U.S. citizen and they paid their fees, they did all the background checks, they did all this process, and they're petitioning for their brother, their sister, and obviously I'm not even mentioning other categories, but yeah, everybody, all your family, unless you are an immediate relative, then you're dealing with this. And if you're in chargeability area like Philippines or Mexico, you're dealing with it longer than all chargeability. And all chargeability is still 16 years for a brother or sister. 15 years. 15 years for a married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. Just think about this. And especially with Mexico, because U.S. borders with Mexico. So when everybody there realizes how dumb these wait times are, how ridiculous it is, and you have to pay the fees, and you have to go through background checks, and you have to go through all of these medical examinations, when instead you can just go and cross the border. Yeah, you risk your life and people lose their life crossing the border, which is a horrible side effect, again, of this broken system. Whoever came up with it, they're probably not taking responsibility for this. But instead of waiting for that much time, and keep in mind, when you petition for somebody, when you petition for your family member, I've been talking for too long, to come down to the United States, you sponsor them. So once they come to the United States and they get their permanent resident card, they cannot, there is no public benefit that they can apply for. There is no, health care, nothing. Because it's the family member petitions for them. So there is no responsibility. Why are we limiting these visas? Why? It's only beneficial to the United States. It's legal immigrants entering the United States who've been through background checks, who've been through health, all these medical checks. They don't have no criminal background, nothing. They're paying the fees. As soon as they enter the country, they already have the temporary permanent resident card, which they can go tomorrow. Today, immediately you enter the country, you can go to the Social Security Administration, apply for Social Security number, and you can go and find yourself a job and work and pay taxes and do everything the right way. No, we limit this, and then we present it on the news like we have a border crisis. Why? Because what? Because of this. So I'm sorry I went up on this rant, but I do like to sometimes mention this because I myself am an immigrant, and it took me 14 years to go through the whole immigration process until I got my US citizenship. I know exactly how it feels. It's personal to me. I have these I-130 petitions. My brother will be waiting another 13 years before he can come here and meet with me again. It has been already 14 years that I haven't seen him, and it's going to be another 13 before I see him, because he cannot get a non-immigrant visa because it's really hard from the country where we're from. And I really like to bring this stuff up to light. So if you know somebody who is not aware of stuff like this, it's not a bad thing to bring their attention to this stuff so that there's a little bit of a better understanding of how the system is set up and why we have problems like we have, like, in the full slide they are presented on the news. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope my answers were helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to address them. I appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.